The best product doesn't always win. In fact, throughout history, technically superior products have failed time and time again. They are pushed aside by competitors who, on paper, seem inferior. We've been taught that business is a race to build a better mousetrap. That innovation and quality are the keys to market dominance. But this is a dangerous misunderstanding. The giants of our modern economy, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, are not dominant simply because their technology is better. They are dominant because of an invisible force. A force that locks in users, repels competitors, and creates a gravitational pull so powerful that it becomes nearly impossible to escape. Think about it. Why does Microsoft Windows still dominate over 70% of the desktop operating system market, decades after its launch? Why do you and your friends all use WhatsApp, when other messaging apps have more features or better privacy? Why did countless social networks, with better designs and cleaner interfaces, fail to make a dent in Facebook's empire? It's not just brand loyalty. It's not just marketing budgets. There is a structural advantage at play, a fundamental law of modern economics that creates digital fortresses around these companies. An advantage that grows stronger with every single person who uses their service. So what is this invisible force that makes big tech seem impossible to beat? This is the power of network effects. And that's the secret we're unlocking today. To understand network effects, we must first understand a simple, old piece of technology. The telephone. Imagine you are the first person in the world to own a telephone. What is its value? Zero. It's a useless plastic box. You can't call anyone. Now, imagine a second person gets a telephone. The network now has some value. The two of you can talk. What happens when 100 people get a telephone? Or 1,000? Or 1,000,000? The value doesn't just increase, it explodes. This concept was formalized by the engineer Robert Metcalfe. Metcalfe's law states that the value of a communications network is proportional to the square of the number of connected users. In simple terms, as you add more nodes to a network, the number of potential connections grows exponentially. 2 users have 1 connection. 10 users have 45 possible connections. 1,000 users have nearly 500,000. The product, the telephone, doesn't change. But its value skyrockets with each new user who joins. The users themselves create the value. This is the fundamental principle of a network effect. A product or service becomes more valuable as more people use it. And this principle has been the single most important driver behind the rise of the modern tech giants. But it's not always this simple. There are 2 distinct types of network effects we need to understand. The first, and most obvious, is the direct network effect. This is what we see with a telephone, or a modern platform like WhatsApp or Facebook. The value for any given user increases directly with the addition of more of the same type of user. Every friend who joins Facebook makes your newsfeed more interesting and your experience more valuable. Every contact who downloads WhatsApp makes the app more useful as your primary communication tool. You join because others are there, and your presence, in turn, makes the platform more valuable for them. It's a simple, powerful feedback loop. But the second type is where things get really interesting. This is the indirect network effect, also known as a two-sided market. Here, the value for one group of users increases when a different group of users joins the platform. Think about Uber. Uber serves 2 distinct groups, riders and drivers. More riders attract more drivers, because it means less downtime and more money. And more drivers attract more riders, because it means shorter wait times and better availability. The 2 sides feed each other. The same dynamic powers countless other platforms. On eBay, more sellers attract more buyers, and more buyers attract more sellers. On Airbnb, more hosts attract more guests, and more guests attract more hosts. Microsoft Windows is another classic example. Its value wasn't just in the software itself. Its dominance was driven by a two-sided network. A massive user base attracted software developers. The vast library of software, in turn, attracted more users. Competitors like Apple's macOS or Linux couldn't just build a better operating system. They had to somehow convince millions of developers and millions of users to switch sides at the same time. This creates an incredibly difficult chicken and egg problem for any potential competitor. How do you get the drivers without the riders? How do you get the developers without the users? A network doesn't become powerful overnight. In the beginning, it's a struggle. A platform with few users has little value, making it hard to attract new ones. This is the cold start problem. But if a network can survive and grow, it can reach a crucial moment, critical mass. Critical mass is the tipping point. It's the moment when the network becomes so valuable that its growth becomes self-sustaining. The value of joining is so high that new users begin to flock to the platform, which in turn accelerates its value even further, creating a cycle of explosive, organic growth. Getting there is the hard part. Look at the story of PayPal. In its early days, it faced the ultimate two-sided network problem. It needed buyers and sellers to join its platform. To solve this, PayPal famously offered a $10 bonus for signing up, and another $10 for every friend you referred. It was an expensive gamble. They were literally paying people to use their product. But it worked. They burned through cash to manufacture early growth, forcing their network to reach critical mass. Once enough buyers and sellers were on PayPal, it became the default payment method for eBay, and the network effect took over. The bonuses were no longer needed. The network was now growing itself. In the 21st century, a new layer has been added to the power of network effects: data. Modern network effects are not just about connecting people, they're about the data those connections generate. This creates a powerful data network effect. The product itself gets smarter and better as more people use it. Every time you use Google search, you are providing it with data. You are telling it which results are useful and which are not. Google uses this feedback from billions of searches to constantly refine its algorithm. A competitor can't just build a better search algorithm, they need a comparable dataset. They need billions of users to teach their algorithm how to be better. The same is true for Waze. Each driver on the road is a real-time sensor, providing traffic data that makes the map more accurate for every other driver. The more people use Waze, the better it becomes at helping you avoid traffic. This creates a formidable barrier to entry. The leader's product is not just the most popular, it is functionally the best, because it has the most data from the most users. The network doesn't just add value, it improves the core product in a way that's nearly impossible for a newcomer to replicate. So, let's bring this all together. We think of these tech companies as selling us products. Google sells search. Facebook sells a social network. Amazon sells a marketplace. But that's not the secret. The real insight is this: the network is the product. The value is not created in a lab by engineers. It is created by every single person who uses the service. Every time you post a photo on Instagram, you are building value for Meta. Every time you list an item on Amazon, you are building value for Amazon. Every time you create a file in Microsoft Office, you are reinforcing the value of that ecosystem for every other professional in the world. You are not just a customer. You are a co-builder of the company's most powerful asset, its network. This is why these companies are so hard to beat. A competitor cannot simply copy the features. They must copy the entire network. They must convince millions, or even billions, of users to coordinate and switch platforms all at once, a near impossible task. The network effect creates a deep, structural moat around the business. A moat that is not dug by the company, but by its own users. And as the network grows, the moat gets wider and deeper, naturally leading to a winner-take-all or winner-take-most market. That is the hidden genius of network effects. It turns customers into a defensive asset, creating a self-perpetuating engine for dominance. The strategy of building and leveraging network effects is arguably the most powerful business model of the digital age. It explains why a handful of companies have come to dominate so much of our economy and daily lives. The lesson here is profound. When building a product or a business today, the ultimate goal isn't just to gain customers. The goal is to build a system where each new customer adds value for all the existing ones. You must ask, does my product get better the more people use it? If the answer is yes, you might be on the path to building not just a company, but a true, defensible ecosystem. You are no longer just selling a product, you are cultivating a network. And in the modern world, the network is everything. If you learn something new, hit the like button and subscribe for more strategy breakdowns. And let us know in the comments, what company's strategy should we unlock next?